Before I get started, there are 3 honorable mentions due to their consistency and longevity to the series. These are found in one way or another, either by inclusion, inspiration, or adaptation throughout the series. First is the baseline from the battle intro. It has changed over the years, and it really hasn't. Some variation of it exists in almost every Final Fantasy game, and you know it when you hear it. Second is the victory fanfare. Where would we be without it? Probably only half as victorious. And finally, the Chocobo theme. While not around for the entire series, it is a mainstay and recognizable no matter what genre of music it takes on. This rendition is one of my favorites, and it's fun to watch these guys play, so I have a link to the full video in the description. Now, as we come into my list, keep in mind not all of these are the original versions. Some are remasters, some are complete orchestral overhauls, but they're true to their form, and I'll have a few words to say about each of the songs, but I will definitely try not to ramble. And here we have my list of my favorite song from each Final Fantasy game. Final Fantasy I, Matoya's Cave. I know this version is a little melancholy, but it still holds the spirit. And I'll never forget the lively tune and the backwards talking brooms. This was one of the very first video games I ever played. Final Fantasy II, the first battle theme. In regards to the leveling system in this game, you hear this song a lot, so you either learn to love it or you absolutely hate it. Final Fantasy III, Amor. Playing this game on the PC, this track for some reason at the time resonated with me. I hear it every now and again on my playlist, and it's like catching up with an old friend. Final Fantasy IV, Battle with the Four Fiends. Another great battle theme. There's an immediacy to everything here. It's threatening and doesn't let you catch your breath. This was an easy choice to make the top of my list from Final Fantasy IV. Final Fantasy V, Clash on the Big Bridge. This may be considered the popular choice, and for once I'm okay with that. From the original to metal covers to brass-only renditions, this song just always feels right. Final Fantasy VI, Terra's theme. When you first hear this in the opening sequence, as our protagonist trudges through the snow, you know that Final Fantasy VI is going to have a memorable soundtrack overall. Final Fantasy VII, I'm kidding. Final Fantasy VII, the main theme of the overworld. While I've always enjoyed music, this theme with all its subtle and grand movements was one of the first that I considered epic, and it's a bit longer than quite a few of the other tracks, but it is worth it until the very last note. Final Fantasy VIII, The Landing. The heartbeat from the very beginning puts you directly in Squall's shoes as the tension and anxiety build right until the moment that everybody spills out onto the beach. Final Fantasy IX, Roses of May. Just yes. Final Fantasy X, Spira Unplugged. I love guitars, both playing and listening, and this song just makes me happy. Final Fantasy X Part 2, Eternity, Memory of Lightwaves. This game musically was a mixed bag. It took a lot of risks in regards to previous game soundtracks, and while I didn't dislike it, it was hard to pick out a favorite, but this is one I can come back to and listen to over and over. Final Fantasy XI, Awakening. Sadly, my time in Final Fantasy XI was short-lived, and most of my experience came after the fact through the soundtrack. Final Fantasy XII, Discord. These strings bring me in every time, and I know it's not joyful, but I can't stop listening. Final Fantasy XIII, Parts 1, 2, and 3. The Gapra Whitewood, All or Nothing, and the Last Surviving Wilderness. The Gapra Whitewood. All or Nothing. The Last Surviving Wilderness. 2 songs to chill to, and an amazing jazz track sandwiched right in the middle. While this grouping is probably my least favorite in the series, it still had some damn fine music. Final Fantasy XIV, I Am the Sea. If you've seen my other video about the music in Final Fantasy XIV, you know I adore this song and can't get enough. Final Fantasy XV, Hunt or Be Hunted. This has a sense of danger and intensity. This is in the top 5 of my favorite Final Fantasy battle themes. I don't want anybody to think that I forgot one of the most iconic and enduring songs from the Final Fantasy series, which is the Prelude. And I didn't. It's been playing throughout the background of this video, and now I'm going to give it its due as I close this out, and I'll see everybody again next time.